Alright, guys, welcome to another very belated review of Beetlejuice, which is the sequel to I think it's like the 1989 movie, Beetlejuice. So it took like 30 something years to make a sequel. Overall, I think Michael Keaton did a really good job. It's basically like, if you like the first Beetlejuice, and you were really in love with the Beetlejuice character, I think Michael Keaton did a really good job in portraying that character. Is as if he jumped right into the next scene from the 1989 one. You can't even tell that he aged 30 something years, because the magic of this is that Beetlejuice himself, the character, he's like a dead corpse. So they already have a bunch of makeup on him, and he looks like a deteriorating body in the first movie. And I think it works in a benefit for the actor, because even though he aged almost 40 years, because of the makeup and because of the nature of the character Beetlejuice, you can't really tell. So the Beetlejuice character, they did a wonderful job with portraying what they needed to do with that character. In terms of the story, I think it was a little bit slow in the beginning. And I think overall there were too many subplots going on at the same time. You have like five different things happening at parallel. It's as if they took four movie scripts and tried to merge it together and make one script. But really, I think they should have taken out like half the characters out of the movie. They should have taken like half the subplots out of the movie and focus on the most important thing. I think there were too many things going on at once. And I think it really sort of not ruined the movie, but made it not as good as it should have been. I think this movie shines in terms of the practical effects, the atmosphere, and capturing that the old school classic, like quirky Beetlejuice vibe that you get from the original one. The practical effects are cool. I like the lighting. It seems like they put a lot of effort into the costume design. The set of each scene seems like really tangible and really detailed. It seems like you're walking to like a high end Disneyland like ride, or like a haunted house, which is exactly what a movie like this should feel like. So I think they did a really good in terms of like the set production, the costumes. The actual story, I think, is what suffered the most. What else? I think if you're a huge fan of the first one, you'll find a lot of things to like in this one, but you're always going to like the first one better. And then I think if you're more of a new generation, like I am, and you didn't really have an attachment to the first movie, I think this movie's going to be a little bit. I wouldn't say it's going to be hard to watch, because it's not, but it's not going to capture your heart when you compare it to the 1989 movie, as it captured the hearts of the people that were watching these sort of movies back then. So the new generation, this isn't going to win over the new generation. This is more of like a nostalgia film. So it's going to do a little bit of fan service, but it's not going to be an amazing masterpiece or an iconic film like the first one was. I think overall this movie is going to be a slight disappointment for everyone, but is not going to be bad. I think this movie was lighthearted and fun, and I think it does enough fan service that it could pass as a sequel, and it's not going to piss a lot of people off. It just did it did a decent job at what it was supposed to do, but it didn't really surpass any expectations. And I think in a lot of ways it didn't meet a lot of expectations, considering the 30 something year wait for a sequel. So in conclusion, would I pay full price to watch this in theaters if I haven't already seen it? Unless you're going with someone that really wants to watch this movie, I think it would be better if this was watched at home on a streaming service. This movie comes off as like, I don't know, like a HBO Max direct to streaming sort of. Um, yeah, I wouldn't pay a full price movie ticket for this. I'm glad I didn't go to the premiere for this. I definitely wouldn't pay an IMAX ticket for it. Um, I think if you really want to see this movie, um, find a really cheap theater, which you could do now since this movie has been out for like, I don't know, 2 months already, or just wait for streaming. But overall, I'm gonna say this is an average film. It's not amazing, it's not iconic, but it's also not the worst thing. And it's not the worst film ever. It didn't piss me off. It was just a little bland, a little slow, but it had enough nostalgia and fan service and enough, you know, interesting and cool moments that I came out the theater just, you know, whelmed, not overwhelmed, but whelmed and a little bit satisfied, but not amazed. So I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10. All right, take that review as you would. Um, but yeah, this is another belated review, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.